Hi everybody and welcome back to Thirsty Thursday. My name's Claire Manning from Thirsty Brush and I'm back with some crafty demonstrations for you here on the Stamps by Me YouTube channel. So do subscribe to the channel if you want plenty of crafty demonstrations from myself, Tony Derrick, Stamps by Me, Carly Duff, Imala and Simon from Avago Ink. So I'm just pulling out the two stamp sets that I'm using today for you. And we're going to make a card with the geometric designs that we launched last week, but I'm going to do something completely different with them. I'm going to stamp this in a very light ink and do some colouring in with it rather than use the stamp and the die together, just as something else that you can do with the designs. And we're going to use this lovely background as a kind of, I'm going to do it on some vellum and some embossing as a kind of celestial, looks a little bit kind of night skyish for the background of the card. Again, just for something a little bit different. But let's stamp and colour in this lovely cat for now, as he will be the main feature of our card, or she. I've got two lovely cats, Jean and Molly, so they really remind me, and I thought if we did a really light ink, I'm going to use this one. I think this might be discontinued, you know, now. I had a few with them, but they've all gone now. But I do like to use it. If you can find some this kind of colour, this is called Malted Milk. But I do find if you use something that is kind of dark yellow, light beige-ish, that seems to tone in very well with most colouring then, if you want that no line look. So we're still going to get the little triangles, but we're not going to get the harsh line of them. I'm going to use some of my, so I want some real earthy tones. So I've got some Zig pens here. I've got like greys and browns and things like that. So we're going to get some different tones within the lovely cat there. So I'll get a little bit of water as well that we can use with the paintbrush. But first of all, let's stamp out the lovely cat. So thank you all so much for tuning in on last Thursdays. I know we didn't do a Stamps by Me show because I was on Create and Craft. So it was a really fun double show again. I know there's been a lot lately, so you've got a little bit of a break for new stuff for me. So within that time then, when I do my videos, I'm going to be able to concentrate on showing you all the lovely techniques that you can do with this lovely stash that you've got now. And I'll also be revisiting some old designs in these videos as well for you. You know, some of our previous ones, how to mix them in with the newer designs, and also I've got a little mark on that card, I'm just going to turn it over, how to mix them in. Sorry, I want a fresh piece that's not quite clean enough, not for a video anyway, I'll use it for something else. Yeah, how to mix in the new and the old. Plenty of different techniques, and then on the run up to Christmas in December, I've got a really nice plan for some little daily videos as a bit of an advent for you. So there won't be, you know, big full demonstrations all the time. There won't always be cards and things like that. A real mix up of things for you to do, hopefully, between the normal Thursday and Sunday here on Stamps by Me and my own channel, Claire Manning Craft. So plenty to keep us inspired. I know the lockdown is easing slightly, but we're still going into those tiered systems, aren't we? So we're still going to have more time at home and some restrictions by the looks of it, depending on where you are in the country. So I've stamped it twice. I hope you can see, because I know it is pale, but it will come to life. The reason I've stamped it twice is that just in case the colours don't come out right on the first one because of where I'm going to place them, or you could put two cats on your card, but I just thought I'll stamp two even if I only use the one for this card. So just pop my Eureka aside. I think it needs a bit of WD-40. Did you hear it squeaking then? And I'm just going to grab my water so we can start colouring with my pens and my brush. Okay, so I've also got out, as well as my water, I've got out a palette of standard watercolours as well, because there's loads of kind of browny shades in there and greens that I want to use for eyes. Only because the pens that I've just got to hand at the moment, I wasn't 100% sure whether they would do the job. So I'm going to attempt to colour these like my two cats. So I've got a tortoiseshell, which is mainly black and with little bits of ginger and white, and then I've got a kind of grey browny tabby cat. So Jean is the tortoiseshell and Molly is the tabby. So Molly hasn't really got any black at all, but Jean has. So let's make this one Jean and Molly, just to remind me. So Jean has got a white chin and she's got tons of black. Now you'll notice I'm not colouring in, even where she's very dark, I'm not doing the full little piece of the triangle or whatever the shape, most of them are triangles, the little shapes. I'm just doing most of it and then I'm going to drag out a little bit. Because I still want it to have that watercolour-y look. It'll be difficult for you to tell with just one little bit, but can you see it's not a solid black? So I'll decide where I want the black to be. It's going to take a little bit of a while, this one. So there may be parts, once you've got, you can see the hang of what I'm doing, there may be parts that I cut out here and come back to it. Otherwise, I think this video will be about 2 hours long. But sometimes it's nice, isn't it, just to do some kind of mindful colouring, not just, you know, rushing to do a card in 20 minutes. I mean, I am generally quite a speed crafter. I don't do huge amounts of cards that take me a long time, but sometimes, particularly when it comes to the colouring parts, I really do like to take my time and, you know, enjoy the process, if you like. So I've done a few black pieces on her face. I'm just going to swap my brush. The point on that one isn't quite right for me. And then, of course, even when a cat is predominantly black, there are shades within that, aren't there? So I've got greys, I've got browns. This is a dark grey, and then obviously it's going to go even lighter with the water. But it's still going to have that feeling of darkness. She's slightly lighter in the ears. So sometimes you don't even need the pen, you can use whatever colour is left on your brush. She's kind of white round here as well, so I'm going to leave those bits for now. You can see how the shapes are starting to build together. If you're worried about the colours bleeding into each other, then just don't do. Can you see I'm not doing any pieces right next to each other yet? So I'm just thinking about where then the brown pieces come in on her face. Look at some more of these different greys as well. This one's like a blue grey. And I don't think she's quite dark enough. She is actually very, very dark. So if I finish the face here, and then I can carry on and do the rest. It's quite a fun way to colour actually, because you've got all the lines there, you're not really having to worry about light and shade. And of course, if you haven't got a cat to copy the colours, just have a look on Google. There's plenty of images. I haven't done anything with the eye area at the moment. I've just left that blank. And she's even very dark. She's got black nose as well. But then that chin area is going to be white or very, very pale. Oops. I'm just following the triangles that were already there in the design for us. And then she's got lovely green eyes, so let's get a little bit of green there, but she's got little bits of white as well. So the face is coming together nicely. So she's very, very white on the chest, and then it goes to a slightly lighter greys and apricots, and then it starts to get darker again. Into her body. Okay, so that's her head there, and if I share a photo after, you will absolutely see that those colours are becoming together and becoming correct for how she looks. So I'm going to carry on doing the body and the second one and come back to you in a moment. So that is lovely Jean finished. So like I say, she's black with tortoiseshell, gingery bits, little white chin and a bit of white on her chest. I've added a tiny bit of black just on the green in her eye, just to give it a bit of definition. And I'm going to start on Molly now, who is more lighter grey and creams and things like that with an odd tiny bit of brown. So I'll be back with you in a moment again. Okay, so they're both all finished now. Molly, like I say, is much lighter. She's got lighter greys. I've used some of the double up apricot there to show her kind of creamier one areas, and she's got more of a pinky nose and pinky ears than Jean. So I'm pleased with those. I think they show them to a reasonable lightness. So I'm just going to trim around the edge because the dies would cut out all the middle, which I don't want for this particular card. So I'm just going to trim them around the edge now. Okay, so I've cut out our two little cats. I don't know which one I'm going to use that yet, but I'll use the other one for another card, or maybe even like a home decor or scrapbook page or something like that. So I want to do the background now for them. So apologies that all of that wasn't in real time. I know I do try when we do these shows to do them in real time, but obviously because there was a lot of more intricate colouring in there, it would have taken a long time. So I'm going to use a piece of vellum for this lovely geo background. And let's just use the larger piece. So the background does come in two separate pieces, so you can arrange them as you want with a couple of nice sentiments there as well. So just place that on. Just wipe over the vellum with my anti-static. And I'm thinking let's just go classic gold, shall we? I think that would go nice with the kind of natural tones of the animals. Going over twice to make sure I get every bit, especially when it's something as geometric and perfect with the straight lines, and I want to make sure it's all crisp and lovely. Just love the gold on vellum. Oh, I think I must have got a bit of fingerprint on there, but if I grab a dry brush, I'm sure I can clean that up. It happens to us all, even if you use your anti-static powder, if I've missed a bit, and vellum attracts fingerprints very easily, but that's okay. And that is just going to look stunning on that vellum. Just get my heat tool. I always find the powders change really quick on vellum. Must be to do with the weight of the card. It doesn't take long to heat up. I know lots of you got hold of the embossing powders again last week if you haven't got them already, or you were stocking up. So yeah, looking forward to 2021 and more of this kind of stuff. So if there's colours that I've got a list of colours that I want to do next and things like that, but if there's something that you really want and enough of you want it, by all means pop me a comment. And I'll have a look into whether we can add that to our beautiful rainbow of colours. Now I'm going to be a bit sneaky when I die cut this now, because I want that to perfectly fit on my 5x7 card. So I'm using, like I do a lot, one of those outline dies from one of our panels. So you can see there it already fits really well. But because the vellum is very thin, I can cut through that, and I want to lay behind this black piece of card. So I'm going to be sneaky and see if we can cut through both of those at the same time. And then it'll be sentiment time. So I'm going to add a bit of a mix of sentiments. I want the big friend to go with the cat, and then I've got For You from one of the other, I think that was from the, is it either going to be the heart and the unicorn or the butterfly and the owl, isn't it? I can't remember which one now. Let's have a look. It'll be the owl and the butterfly. So that's cut through both of those perfectly. There is one last thing I want to do on the vellum piece with this sentiment, and I'm going to emboss straight on it rather than have a sentiment on a separate piece. So I've got the For You there. I hope we can fit in this large friend and not cover up too much of the cat. So I'm going to need to play around with my card blank here and just make sure everything can fit in. So it might be an idea to put the black piece on now. Just get rid of that for a moment. Oops. Too much of a blob of glue there. Let's spread it out. So that's going to layer over either that way or that way. I haven't decided yet. Let's use Jean. And then it's about deciding where we want her and where we want the sentiment. Can overlap if we need. Yeah, I think maybe like that. So let's just put Jean aside for a moment. I'm going to try and slide that across without moving them too much, but we know roughly where they're going. So you can emboss on top of embossing, it's no problem at all. All I would say is if you're doing that, use a really bold colour on whatever's on top to make sure it stands out. So I'm going to use the dark, like navy glitter one, Midnight it's called, because I think that will still stand up well, I'm hoping. So there we go, we've layered up there the geometric background. I've heat embossed some glitter, the Midnight for the sentiment, and then you've got that really soft watercolour but doesn't that go beautifully and really soften up those geometric designs? So you haven't just got to think about doing them with your kind of clean and simple, really bold. You can make them much, much softer if you want to. So I'll be back on Sunday for Sunday Chill at 1 o'clock, and I'll be doing some watercolouring. So I'll be using the double up watercolours and just doing some freehand. Lots of you have been asking me about how to do some freehand flowers. So I thought I'd just focus on that. You can make your designs into a card, of course, or you can just do it as kind of art practice. But I really hope you enjoyed that project for today, something a bit different, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you Thursday. Take care.